Hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to talk to you about 5 ways that you can mentally prepare yourself before you purchase your first investment property. So stay tuned. So I know you're hearing a lot out there right now in the world on a macro level about how it's a horrible time to buy property, interest rates are sky high, inflation is through the roof, and all of those things are very well true. But in today's video, I want you to focus on just yourself. I want you to be selfish, and I want you to think on a micro level. And we're not thinking about all of the messages that we're hearing every single day from the media. We're going to focus on what you can do psychologically to prepare yourself to hit a goal, to hit a target that you want to hit. So let's jump right into it. Let's start with the first one. And please don't skip any of these steps. I did every single one of these steps before I got to my first property. And trust me, I purchased my first property at a time when the market was high. It was a seller's market. Everyone told me it was the worst time to buy. And this was over like 15 years ago. So you can imagine at that time being young, being single, and being scared of putting like such a big amount of debt in my name. I was listening to the noise, but at some point you have to try to tune out the noise and focus specifically on your goals. Because if we listen to what everyone told us to do, we would never follow our dreams, right? Like people will tell you it's a horrible time to start an online business. YouTube is saturated. You'll never make it. There's too much competition. If you listen to that noise, when will you ever step outside of your comfort zone and do something different and go after what you want to go for? So we're focusing on ourselves for the purposes of this video. I want you to tune out the noise and don't skip through these steps. Please watch each one in its entirety and do each one, okay? So let's start with step number 5. I want you to buy this book, okay? Get this book now. Like, log out of the video really quick, come back. Go to Amazon. You could probably buy it, used for not expensive at all. The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murray. It is an amazing read. It will change your life. I've read this book probably more than 10 times because if you read it once, it's just way too much to digest. Like you gotta keep coming back for more. You know how some books are just, they're that compelling and the content in the book is so amazing that you read a sentence and you're like, okay, let me sit and let that marinate for a little bit. This is the type of book that Joseph Murray has written. So The Power of Your Subconscious Mind helps you tune out the noise. It helps you bring yourself back to the realization that you have the power, right? You have the power to create and manifest the destiny that you want to create. And he is going to give you some really good exercises to help you achieve that. So get this book today and start to read it. And if you do everything in this book that you are instructed to do, there's no way that your life won't change. I mean, I'm going to say that. It's just, there's no way that your life won't change. Okay. So that's number 5. Step number 4, I want you to get a pen and a piece of paper, and I want you to write down specifically what your investment goals are. And I want you to be very specific. Specificity is so important when you are trying to figure out what it is that you want to achieve in life. It's not enough to just say, I want some property. Like, okay, what does that mean? I want some real estate. Like, okay, you mess around and get a Legoland set or, something off of Monopoly, a toy house. Be very specific on what it is that you want to achieve. Do you want 5 single family homes? Do you want 2 duplexes? And then how much money would you like to generate, right? So it's not enough to just say, I want to make a lot of money from real estate. No. Do you want enough money from your real estate? Do you want to be able to generate enough income that can cover your daily living expenses And what is that number? What is the number that would be required for you to say, hey, you know what? If I wanted to leave my job tomorrow, or if I got laid off tomorrow, I would have X amount of dollars coming in from my rental properties that would be able to cover my daily living expenses. That's a goal. That's a very specific goal. If that goal is too small for you, great, enlarge it, right? I would like to generate $20,000 a month from, or $50,000 a month. It doesn't matter. Like, these are your goals. They're intended for you. It's no one's place to tell you if they're too big or too small. They belong to you. But let's get specific with our goals, and let's stop talking about our goals with people, because oftentimes we get so excited, and it's happened to me before, right? Like you get inspired, you feel motivated, and you want to share. You want to share with your friends, you want to share with your family, but everybody's vision isn't as big as yours, right? And you don't want their perspective to deflate what you're trying to achieve. Oh, baby, that sounds good, but you know, this market is terrible right now. It's not a good time for you to be thinking about real estate. You should be putting your money someplace else. Deflation number one, right? Like, you're already starting to feel your energy, feel depleted because of that one statement and that one perspective or that one opinion. Or, oh man, I purchased property before I got out of that business. I had such a bad tenant. Like, I would never go into real estate. Let me tell you my horror story. Bang. Now you're right back to square one. We're going to write those goals down. You are going to get as specific as possible, and you are going to keep it to yourself. You want to keep it to yourself, okay? All right, let's get into step number 3. This is where I want you to take a look at your budget, and I want you to start with your top 2 expenses that are killing the ability for you to save and put away money. I'm not talking about your Dunkin' Donuts runs or your Starbucks money or your latte money. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about big ticket items. The biggest one that comes to mind is obviously housing. And you're like, well, how am I supposed to cut my housing expenses, Michelle? If you take a look at my previous video, 3 simple strategies on how to get your first investment property, I make the recommendation that if you have the ability to cut your housing expense and move in with someone temporarily, like your parents, you should do that. But let's just say for now, housing's off the table for you. Fine. Where are your other big expenses coming from? Do you have a big car note? I would like for you to get rid of that, right? A lot of us are so attached to these things, these items that we think make us and feed into our identity and our ego, right? Like, I never understood the concept of having a luxury vehicle but renting. I don't think that's a good mindset to have. I believe that you should invest in real estate for the long term because it's a way to help build your wealth. Buying and investing in luxury cars doesn't do that. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't have a luxury cars. I love luxury cars. Like, I love Mercedes-Benz. It's like my favorite vehicle. But I wouldn't invest in a Mercedes-Benz before I invested in a piece of real estate, okay? So, is your car note too high? Get rid of it. Get in something that's manageable, that you can take, to work every day, and it's not killing your pockets. You know what killed my pockets too? Cable and cell phone. So I used to have Verizon for my cell phone. My cell phone bill used to be over $200 every month. Don't ask me how or don't ask me why, but it was. Cable bill, ridiculous. So between cable and my cell phone, my expenses were like over $350 a month. That is ridiculous. And what happens is we go to work every day, right? Like, we work, we come home, we taking care of our kids, you want to hang out with your significant other. A lot of times our bills and our expenses, they're just on autopilot. So we think, okay, well, as long as I make it enough to cover the bill, like, I'm not going to challenge that cost. No, we are going to challenge every single cost from now on. I want you to pull out your bank statements, pull out your credit card statements, and look at every single time you are being charged for something and ask yourself, can I do better? So for me, of course I could do better. I cut cable. Like, I cut cable years ago. I could care less about it. Please. And cell phone, yeah, like, I used to laugh at people who were on Cricket. Like, your calls probably drop. Like, you don't have any cell service. Listen here, I'm on Cricket and I love me some Cricket, okay? My bill is less than $55 a month. I have the same service that I had with Verizon. My calls don't get dropped and I still have an iPhone. So don't get caught up in the glitz and glam of being with certain carriers because your perception is that they're better. Like all these cell phone companies use the same cell towers. Like get out of that mindset, get that bill cut and really look at your budget and try to determine where you can lessen your expenses. Because what I want you to do is I want you to take that money that you're able to save and put it away. Just put it away. Don't touch it. Put it away so that you can use that to start to develop your seed fund to invest in real estate. Okay, so are you with me? Right? We're good. Step number 5, you're going to get the power of your subconscious mind. Step number 4, you're going to get specific with your goals. And I'm going to stop getting tongue-tied on this video and I refuse to edit this out because I just feel like everything I have to say today is like, listen, I'm not editing today. I'm talking to you today. And then we are going to look at our expenses and we're going to get rid of the big ticket items that are holding us back from being able to really truly save. If the statistic is true, which I believe that it is, that in America, most Americans don't have $1,000 in their savings account to be able to draw upon for an emergency, if that is in fact the case, and you find yourself in that category, then this is a step that you cannot miss. Do step number 3, get rid of big ticket items that are holding you back. Take control of your money, right? Like Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich said, you have to treat every single dollar like it's a soldier. And these soldiers are out there fighting on your behalf. But these big companies are just in there winning the war with your pockets because they're just taking everything they can. No, we want to take our soldiers back so they can fight for us. Let's get into step number 2. Okay, step number 2, which is my favorite step of all, is I want you to create a new income stream. Yes, you. I know that you must be tired of looking at these YouTube videos and scrolling on Instagram and TikTok, watching other people live their lives and do everything that you want to do. It's time for you to do that, okay? I don't know what that income stream could be for you, but I can tell you this. You're alive, you're well, you're sitting here watching this video, which means you have a phone and you have an internet. So that right there puts you ahead of, most of the people in the population. Next up, you have a skill set, right? So if you get up every day and you go to work, whatever it is that you're doing for them, you can do for you. And I'm not talking about a side hustle or a side gig. When I hear those types of terms, to me, it doesn't sound like you're committed to something, right? Like side anything is like, are you really committed to that? I want you to create an entirely new income stream that's going to support you throughout your journey of trying to create generational wealth for you and your family. So what you have to do is go back to step number 5, which is read The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murray. But a lot of times we have these scripts that are being played in our head and we've got to eliminate that negative self-talk. Oh, I'm not good enough to start a business, or I'm not smart enough, or no one's going to buy from me. Or yes, they will, right? I want you to flip that switch and I want you to create a new affirmation for yourself that says something along the lines of, I am so great at creating income streams. Like, I am just so amazing at creating new income streams for myself. You have to believe that. Like you've got to believe that about yourself before it can be true. And I want you to just walk around and think about that all the time. Like, oh, I'm so amazing. Like one thing I know how to do, I know how to create a new income stream. I can bring in some money. Yeah, that's the type of mindset that's going to change your life. Not, oh, I got these bills. Oh, I'm so stressed out. Oh, yeah, like that's going to beget more stress and more stress. Change the mindset and really focus on what can I do to create something that's for me, right? Because like, great, you have a job. We have jobs. Jobs are great. I love jobs. Jobs give you W-2 income. Banks love W-2 income, okay? Right? Like jobs give you benefits. You learn new skills, you network, but you don't own that. So I want you to create something that you own, that's yours entirely. Do that this year. Don't wait until 2024. Don't wait until next year. Don't put that on your New Year's, resolution list. Do it now. Do it now while you're doing all these other steps, because I promise you, you're going to feel motivated, you're going to feel inspired, and something's going to click. And it's just going to start clicking for you. And you're going to be like, okay, it's all coming together for me now. I see what she was talking about. She's not crazy. She's not crazy. You know what? I'm going to subscribe to her channel. That's what you need to go ahead and do right now before we even move on to step number 1. Hit subscribe, because that helps me. And then definitely like. And if you really want to show me some love, drop a comment. I reply to all of my comments, every single one. That's what I do. A lot of y'all be dropping comments, people that just ignore y'all. I don't do that. I'm going to reply. So leave me a comment, say what's up, let me know where you're from, let me know you subscribe, and let's get into step number 1. Okay, so you've made it with me this far to step number 1. That's what's up. That's my Philly coming out of me. That's what's up. Okay, step number 1. It's actually a 3-part step. But, I come from the pharma industry, and pharma, we love acronyms. We're going to go with the ABC model for step number 1. The A is I want you to take some action today. Take an action today towards your goal. I don't know whether that it could be attending an auction, right? Calling up a realtor and asking them to send you a list of properties that are in a desired zip code that you're interested in purchasing. Take some action towards your goal. And you're probably thinking, Michelle, I don't have the money. Like, I'm not there yet. That's okay. You're going to get there. We are mentally putting ourselves in a space where we're already there. We're there. It's next year. It's 6 months from now. It's 3 months from now. You're ready. So take some action. Take some action and be intentional with it. Go to the auction and really say to yourself, oh, all right, that's not so bad. That property, that's something I could potentially afford if I really cut my expenses and I really am committed to my goals. You're going to start to see opportunities that are going to come your way where before you were so closed off to them because you weren't in the right mindset. Now you're in the right mindset, okay? B, I want you to be consistent with this. This isn't going to be an overnight process, right? So you're watching this video today, maybe 2-3 months from now, you get a setback and you give up. We're not giving up. Like, we're not going to give up, because here's the thing. The time is going to pass anyway. So you may as well just stay committed to your goals. There's no reason for you to give up, because you're still going to be here on this earth. So you may as well just go ahead and keep pushing forward. The people that lose are the people that quit, right? Like I can't lose because I don't quit. I'm not going to give up. And even if I take a break, even if I get like shot down, even if it's just a bad time for me. I had a rough year last year, like a very rough year. Lost my mom, lost a lot. Like, I didn't want to get into it in this video, but I'm going to get back up. I took a year off of social media because I just had nothing to give. Now it's back. I got my juices flowing. I'm back. And now I'm starting my YouTube. I'm starting from the bottom. Like, I don't have thousands of subscribers. That's okay. I'll get there because I'm not going to give up. So I don't want you to give up on your goals. Stay consistent, okay? Woo! Which leads me to the last C. And for this one, I want you to reach out and start developing your contacts, your connections, and I want you to communicate with people. So what do I mean by that? Well, obviously, if you want to buy your first property, you're going to need a team. Who's your team going to be, right? Like, you need plumbers, you need electricians, you need, contractors. Get those people on your list. Get out, start kissing babies and shaking hands and making names, so you can start to develop your Rolodex. Communicate with people, contact people on social media. How amazing is it that you have these tools at your disposal to be able to reach out and ask people, hey, you know what? I'd love to connect with you. Get to know people, step outside of your comfort zone. Do you know what your network would look like in 365 days if you made it your business to just contact one person a day and try to develop some type of networking relationship with them? your entire world would change just off of that one step. So I want you to go above and beyond what your normal daily routine and activity is in your life of people that are in your circle, and start to connect and get to know people, because you never know what contact you might reach out to that could potentially be what's the word I'm looking for, instrumental. Why couldn't I think of that? Instrumental in helping you get to your first property. So I said a lot in a little bit of time. I hope you found some value in what I said today, because I remember when I first wanted to get my first investment property, I made up business cards. And on my business cards, I had that I was a real estate investor. I didn't have any properties to my name, zero. But in my mind, I was already there. I had already taken that step. And when I would meet people at Home Depot and Lowe's and contractors, I would pass out my business card and I would just say, listen, I'm a real estate investor. I'm going to be needing your services. So, keep me in mind when I call you. Pick up the phone, all right? So that's the mindset that I want you to get into, where it's already yours. Like, it's already happening. You just, you got to catch, the future hasn't caught up to where your mindset is right now. That's what I want you to do. And for now, tune out the noise. We're not worried and focused on what's happening on a macro level. I want you to be selfish and think about what you want and what you're going after. So if you like today's video, please hit the subscribe button. Definitely shoot me a comment. And I'll see you guys on the other side. Take care.